My name is Kylee Stone, and I'm presenting for my final art project the sculpture The Sound Suit by Nick Cave, a piece from the Art of American Dance exhibit viewed at the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, located in Bentonville, Arkansas. Dance has been a prevalent form of expression since the dawn of creation. Native American tribes used dance to worship their gods. Egyptian priests and priestesses played out cosmic patterns and events of their gods through dance. And even the Greeks formulated the Greek theater to allow the joy of dance. Dance has always been an activity I have never been able to participate in due to two left feet, but the movement and beauty hidden in the art of dance has always intrigued me. I chose this piece for my project because the absurdity and creativeness of this functional yet abstract suit drew my attention from across the room. I am naturally a colorful person, and the vibrant colors and patterns played on my imagination and eyes. What also interested me was something Nick Cave said in an interview with Jack Shainman, in which he said, "The suits camouflage the body, masking and creating a second skin that conceals race, gender, and class, forcing the viewer to look without judgment." This stuck with me because it allowed the performer to not be objectified and focus on the beauty of dance and the sound created instead. The sound suit is located, along with multiple other dance-related pieces of art, in a traveling exhibit named The Art of American Dance. The exhibit reflects the nature of dance in the late 80s and early 90s. Through the multiple pieces collected over time, the exhibit creates and explores the use of dance from everyday life to American culture as a whole. The purpose of this collection is to examine how Americans dance through cultural movements, express themselves, and how the varied ethnicities, genders, and races impacted the different styles of American dance. The sound suit was created to visually represent the creation of music through movement, as well as to create a barrier between performer and performance. The medium of the suit is a pleated found knitted and crocheted fabric, with metal armature and painted metal toys and figurines. The figure in the round sculpture stands 5 to 6 feet tall, which is an accurate representation of the artist Cave's figure. The figure stands straight, with its feet shoulder-width apart, with a posed stance. The appendages consisting of a wide variety of toys, including jack-in-the-boxes, a Ferris wheel, and multiple other children's toys. This sculpture is just one of Nick Cave's many sound suits. The medium of the sound suit is what makes it unique and consistent with the eras of the exhibit. This exhibit and the individual piece of Cave's is viewing at the Bentonville Museum on October 22nd through January 16th, but the sound suit I researched was constructed and presented in 2010. Nick Cave has a way to pull the attention to his sculptures, specifically his sound suit collection, by the use of a unique medium and the vivid colors of the objects surrounding the figure. In addition to these two aspects of the sculpture, Cave uses multiple other elements of art to create pieces that intrigue us. The medium used in this specific sound suit was a pleated found knitted and crocheted fabric, as well as metal armature and metal painted toys. Cave uses these strange mediums to allow the suits the flexibility to be performed and moved in, as well as creating sound from the movement. Each piece of the sculpture plays specifically for the creation of a specific sound. The artist stated in an interview with the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art that he found his materials at estate sales, flea markets, and antique malls, and that his materials were based on a feeling, an emotion. He collected materials and objects that spoke to him. The medium used reflects the creativity and vision founded in these locations. Each sound suit is created individually and characteristically. In this sound suit, the lines are curved and free-flowing and vary in thickness and direction. These tangles of lines create form and contrast, which allow the eye to follow the suit from top to bottom. The three-dimensional painted toys, connected to the armature, when standing in a museum rather than being used for dance, allow shadowing that is characteristic to the spaces in between each wire. Cave's use of color is exceptional in this piece. The matching of the crochet colors and the painted toys allow continuity and symmetry to the sculpture. The colors consist of more warm colors, but in a faded hue, one consistent with the 80s and 90s era the toys and crochet patterns were most common in. When first viewing this piece, the piece was placed in a corner of the museum with light shining up to it. This placement created a sense of depth in the sculpture. This space also allowed emphasis on the sculpture and nothing else in its surrounding. This piece matches the artist's goal of a hidden identity in the creation of sound through movement. Overall, Nick Cave created a piece with a copious amount of thought and planning and created something that is both functional yet abstract at the same time. These two characteristics play off of each other, which allow the absurdity yet beauty of the sound suit collection to intrigue any audience. Cave created this piece in 2010, but his collection has been striving since 2008. His first sound suit consisted of sticks and twigs, and his collection has just grown since then. Cave was born in 1959 and began his career as a performance artist, and through this inspiration, Cave created the sound suit to further the ordinary performance. The style of this piece is abstract and functional. The style of art is contemporary and is consistent with the art movement of the 2000s. The suit is classified as functional because of its ability to mix sculpture, fashion, and sound together. Cave suits are even bought and sold because of their realistic and functional use for performing. Because this collection was created more recently, it is considered modern art, but this art also has a touch of expressionism. This style of art is seen in the artist's emphasis of performance over the performer and the external world. Expressionism is characterized by art seeking to express an emotional experience, and Cave relates this emotional experience to dance. A piece of artwork that is similar to the sound suit is the microtonal wall by Tristan Perrick. These two pieces are similar in the fact that they both converge sound and motion to create a beautiful piece of art. The microtonal wall is similar in the fact that it uses expressionism in the same form as the sound suit, both of the pieces tying together movement and art. Furthermore, the two pieces are different in the types of movement needed to produce sound. The microtonal wall is a stationary piece located at the Inner Access Gallery in Toronto, whereas the sound suit is meant to be in motion. The microtonal wall consists of 1,500 small speakers. This is different than the sound suit in regards to the creation of sound, and the speakers produce the sound instead of motion. As a viewer, the sounds and speakers change as you move across and closer to the wall. Perich explained, each listener's exploration of that aural space shapes what they hear, from the totality of white noise from a distance to the single frequency of each speaker up close. Unlike the suit, which when stationary makes no sound, but when is moved and performed in, creates an assortment of sounds. The two pieces are also similar in the period of art they are produced in. Both the microtonal wall and the sound suit are considered modern and contemporary art. Additionally, the microtonal wall consists of grays and blacks and whites, very bland colors, unlike that of the sound suit. Although the idea of movement and sound link these two pieces together, they are very different in regards to the elements and principles of art. The microtonal wall is very simplistic, unlike the suit with its tangles and toys. Ultimately, the sound suit by Nick Cave intrigued me by its complexity as well as simplicity. The suit is complex due to all of its elements and principles of art, including the numerous amount of color, lines, texture, and form that all add up to create symmetry, continuity, harmony, motion, and even sound. In contrast, the suit's simplicity is based on the idea behind it. The simple idea that race, gender, etc. could be hidden, if only for a little, during a performance. The idea that motion and sound of the suit combine to form not only sound, but also beautiful motion. The suit also intrigued me because, in society, most people can hide behind technology, but in this sense, the person hiding isn't doing it for harm or fear. The performer is doing it for equality in the arts. The sound suit is a piece that when I first looked at it, all I saw was a figure that had toys sticking out of it, but through researching it, I learned how amazing and interesting it really was. The sound suit is meant to share a message, and that is another aspect of the piece that I loved. The sound suit is overall an extraordinary piece and one I highly suggest seeing before it's gone. I hope someday I will have the privilege to see more of Cave's art and maybe even see it in motion. The sound suit is one of the most fun pieces of art I have ever seen and will always put a smile on my face.